Trigger warning, Kocosports.com is on the air. This is Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got half the Coco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. Sorry, boom, boom, here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond in southern England, the man who works harder than a Pensacola stripper, none other than LK. What's up, brother?
How you doing? It's strange to do NXT live after it airs. Very
Yeah,
strange.
normally
we're Lucha Underground. It's a very strange feeling. But I enjoyed tonight's episode.
You know what? Lucha Underground may take a hiatus, but we do not.
No breaks. We are working harder than Pensacola strippers, and believe me, there is no one, and I mean no one, who works harder than a Pensacola stripper.
You got to earn those dollar bills, honey. All right, so we got NXT in the books. We're doing a build up to NXT TakeOver San Antonio. So, LK, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask the Internet Infantry, what did you give tonight's show? Did you give it a win, a loss, or a tie? So, for you in the Internet Infantry, over here in the comment section, down here in the chat room comment section. But LK, start with you. What say you, win, loss, or tie?
I'm gonna give it a weak win. You know, they did a decent enough job in building towards NXT TakeOver San Antonio. I thought the contract signing was very good. What else? I enjoyed the TM61 revival for what it was worth. It wasn't exactly the longest match in the history of pro wrestling, but it could have been longer. But I think they're gonna go with a rematch at TakeOver San Antonio that obviously gets a bit more time. I enjoyed the Ember Moon stuff. I'm looking forward to where that goes. Obviously, Ember Moon versus Roadman, Liv Morgan next week. It was an alright show. It wasn't as good as last week's. There was no great match. So if I was to recommend you to watch anything from here, it would definitely be the contract signing and the revival and TM61 stuff. Apart from that, very skippable, but it was NXT. You know, I'm looking forward to go-home shows next week, heading into Rumble and San Antonio TakeOver.
Me, I'm going to give tonight's show, I'm going to give it a solid tie. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was great either. It was just kind of middle of the road, so I figured it's fitting I give it a tie. I'm kind of disappointed, truth be told, in NXT right now because normally they have a pretty good formula for doing their house show, not house shows, but the tapings at Full Sail University and putting together the storylines. And they do a nice build up to TakeOver. This, it just seems rushed. I feel like what they're doing, like what they did tonight, that should have been done week 1, maybe week 2 at the latest, but week 1 is really where this, well, actually, you know what? I'll tell you what, week 2. Week 2 is where this should have happened, not 2 weeks out from the pay-per-view. I really felt like we need some more investment in the characters and the storylines. I think they're just, NXT is just hoping that maybe just the superstars can carry it, which, truth be told, most of them can, but I think they could have done a better job building up. But with that being said, I do like a lot of the matches they've named. I'm going to watch the event. I just think they could have done a better job leading up to this point, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, it wasn't the best show, but they only had 4 weeks to build, so that's what they have to play with. You know, it's not their fault that they didn't do any shows in December. Well, maybe it is, maybe that isn't. We don't really know why they didn't tape any shows in December, but they didn't, and there's nothing we can do about it. Is someone okay over there, Boom? Someone dying over there? What's going on?
My cat's like, okay, if you don't have cats, let me just sum it up to you this way. Cats are like having coked up ninjas. They just run around at random for no reason whatsoever. My cat has been asleep, he's been mellow, and then as soon as I go on the air, he just turns into he turns into Speedy Gonzalez. He's just getting into everything, and I'm like, should I throw something at him, or should I go there and just go pop him with a fly swatter, or should I just try to ignore it and continue doing the show with LK? Well, apparently he heard me talking, he's mellowed the fuck out, so the show must go on. That's what's going on.
I have a cat, but mine's inside, and it will never come in here. My parents one time, because I hate it when people sit on this chair, because I find it really comfortable, especially the cat. And one time I was at work, and I got a text message from my parents, and it was a picture of the cat sitting on my chair. Absolute arsehole. But yeah, I have a cat too, and it's definitely not like yours. Yours runs around like it's got fucking the last hour of life to live. Unbelievable. Your cat's always there, isn't it? It's like you're trying to get a cat sponsorship, aren't you? You want like, what's a cat company in America? Because we got Phoenix. What have you got?
Oh God, we've got several cat food. There's cat litter, different various of cat food, cat litter, cat treats. Yeah, I could get one of those. Yeah, if you're out there, sponsor us. I'll put my cats on air. Just give us the money, and boom, we'll make it happen. All right.
Let's get down to reviewing NXT, shall we?
Yeah, let's become Cat AM here. Let's not go down that route. Okay, first things first here. We have the build up from last week with Asuka and everything going on. Then we start out with SAniTY. They come out. Nikki Cross taking on Kennedy Lewis. This match does not go long at all. It turns into a squash match, even though Nikki Cross towered over by at least a foot. Nikki Cross just kept pounding on Lewis, because she's crazy, because crazy people apparently just do that. And did a version. It was kind of looked like she was setting her up for a fisherman suplex, but spun her around to a neck breaker, got the pin. And so not much to it. I guess I think it was a good follow-up because she was one of the ones who attacked Asuka last week. Asuka's demanded a match with all of them, so it's going to be a fatal four-way at TakeOver, which I'm actually looking forward to. LK, I think this would be the perfect way to I guess, send Asuka out. And what I mean by that is, right now she's undefeated, and you can't have her carry the championship up onto the main roster. So you're going to have to get it off of her. But if you want to maintain her undefeated streak, which I think they do, this is the perfect way to do it, because at this point, she can lose that championship and not even have to be pinned. I mean, Billie Kay could pin Nikki Cross, and Asuka could lose her championship, and then she could still go to the main roster undefeated. I know one of the things you've mentioned in the past, and maybe this is what they're building to, is maybe they're doing this as a setup, and they're building up towards Mania weekend, where they have Ember Moon becomes the new number one contender, and then you have a showdown match between Ember Moon and Asuka finally takes her first defeat at TakeOver the weekend of Mania. Maybe that's about a couple scenarios that I've seen, but just what are you thinking about this whole build-up of Nikki Cross, the Fatal 4-Way? Where do you think they're going to go with it, and how would you book it?
Firstly, I'm just literally picturing your cat just walking around going boop, 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 in the background, just crashing shit with his feet.
Yeah, yes. He waits till I'm on air. He doesn't do this any other time. He waits till I'm on air, and it's like, yeah.
That's fair. No, stuff with Ember Moon, obviously she's got Roadman Liv Morgan next week. And no matter what happens with the 4-way at TakeOver TakeOver San Antonio, I think we're almost proving guaranteed to an Ember Moon versus Asuka match at TakeOver. The next one will be Orlando, won't it? So with that in mind, I would have Asuka retaining this 4-way. Asuka versus Ember Moon. Asuka loses to Ember Moon. Raw after Mania, Asuka comes up. Because in that time, they can create something called a long-term plan for Asuka. Because Asuka is English, is pretty non-existent. So to have Asuka go out there and have no English to her name, to cut long promos like they did on SmackDown Live and like they normally do on Raw. Imagine Charlotte's 15-minute promo with Bayley. They couldn't do that with Asuka. Not in any way, shape, or form. So they're going to have to protect her, hide her weaknesses, which is talking. They could do that by having about 6 months of squash matches or a few months of squash matches while she learns the old English language. And, we'll see where we go from there. I think Peyton Royce versus Billie Kay will be a program going forward. I think Roadman Liv Morgan's going to turn heel because no one likes her. And I think Ember Moon's going to be the face of the NXT Women's Division in 2017, heading into 2018, where she then can get the call-up.
That's another way of that's another good way of looking at it. I actually kind of like that plan, truth be told.
Good. Good boy. What else? A good boy. Yeah, I'm not your dog. Um, what else have we got? So we talked about that. The match itself, Nikki Cross. What it got over Nikki Cross, and it's trying to, because we've seen a lot of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, but not a lot of Nikki Cross. So it's Nikki Cross gets a clear dominant win, so that Nikki Cross looks credible to win the NXT Women's Championship. Because
you know what Nikki Cross reminds me of? It's an old movie. It's an old movie trope. It's like in infantry. You know what I'm talking about. You ever seen those movies? They're usually like those little teen. They're usually like those teen movies. It's always like this girl. She's like really homely, really nerdy, and you know she's just like, oh no, nobody wants anything to do with her. She's like a real nerd girl. Ooh. And then somebody's like, oh, I can make you beautiful. And then like they take off her glasses, they drop her hair, and all of a sudden she's just drop dead gorgeous. Like she never thought to do that before. You know, it's kind of like that with Nikki Cross, but like reverse. I think she's like this really gorgeous girl that they've tried to ugly up, and it just hasn't worked. Because it's like they put some stuff in her hair to make it look like, I guess she hasn't washed her hair. She does all these contorted facial features, but she really is actually a pretty girl that tries to act like she's ugly, and I just think it's kind of silly because it's like the opposite of like the the ugly girl who's actually beautiful, like kind of like the ugly duckling kind of thing. I don't know, that just kind of came to my mind.
I don't know. I think that she does a good job at looking unattractive. And I didn't mean that as an insult. I meant that she does it well. Like when I see her, I don't picture attraction. I don't go, oh. I'm like, oh, okay, let's get back to my typing. So they do that well. The hair, whatever they do, the hair is brilliant. Like it really does legit look like she hasn't washed her hair in about 6 months. But no, do you know what this SAniTY reminds me of? Because I'm in the middle of watching WCW from '98, the Monday Night Raw series. It reminds me of Raven's Flock.
Yeah, it does. You have it's just like that's any kind of faction that's like this. You have a charismatic leader, a bunch of followers, and there you go.
Yeah, because you got Raven, who was all what about me, and you got Eric Young, who is what about me? I waited all this time. You got big demos like Saturn, and you can go on Sick Boy, etc. I like it. I like SAniTY, and I love the way they're presented. And I was worried for a while that on the main roster this wouldn't work because of the production, etc. But from what I saw at NXT TakeOver Toronto, I think it could work, and I'm interested and excited to see if it would work on the main roster because I'd love it if they start terrorizing everything. It'll be really good.
All right, you ready to go to the next one? We had a little backstage segment. It was No Way Jose. Basically, he's talking about, it's a new year, same me. He's going to have some fun inside, outside the ring. He's interrupted by Kona Reeves. I hope I'm not pronouncing that correctly. He was upset about the incident in Toronto where he was attacked by SAniTY, and he ran in there to help out Rich Swann, but didn't stand up for him. And Kona's like, dude, I thought we were friends, and I, and basically challenged him to a match. And so there you go. So look at I guess this backstage segment wasn't anything special. Just what do you think about No Way Jose and now Kona Reeves? No Way Jose, I think he needs some tweaking. He's got the size, he's got the physique. I just don't know if the No Way Jose, just the whole dancing fiesta gimmick is one place you want to go, or I think maybe it could work if they flesh out the character a little bit more. Kona Reeves, he's a newcomer. He's got a good look. I just want to see. I want to see some more character development with him. This is another part where I felt like NXT kind of drops the ball. It's they pull in all these people, but they only take like a handful of them and push the hell out of them. And honestly, people who don't. And I know that you need to have some people there to to get me and you to watch. I know you need to have a Shinsuke Nakamura, a Bobby Roode to get eyeballs. But I really felt like you're neglecting some of these other people. Because that's the whole purpose of developmental, and get them on the air, get us to where we care about them. I'm hoping that's one thing they change in 2017.
Yeah, because sometimes when you got the Nakamuras, the Roderick Strongs, the Bobby Roodes, the etc., it's sometimes difficult to remember that this is the developmental brand. You know, as much as Triple H wants to come on air and say, "I want NXT to be the third brand," it's not. It's not going to be. It's your developmental brand. Make it your developmental brand. I was happy as hell when I saw Connor Reeves. I was like, okay, that's a new character. No Way Jose, that mid-carder for life in the main roster if he makes it up there. But he just looks too much of a nice guy to take seriously. Like, unless he's Samoan, I don't think he has a shot. If he's Samoan, he can just put a strap on and he'll be fine. But until he's Samoan, I really don't see a future for the guy.
I thought he was Hawaiian, but I could be completely wrong on that.
Well, if he is, he ain't Samoan, and that sadly means he ain't getting a monster push.
There you go.
There really is no way, Jose, for you to study.
Kona, just listen to us, buddy. I know you may be Hawaiian, but just tell everybody you're Samoan. They ain't gonna fucking know. Vince McMahon ain't gonna fucking know. Triple H ain't gonna know. Yeah, I'm actually Roman Reigns' third cousin, twice removed. My dad and his dad were roommates in college one time. So, and they'll be like, "Really? Shit! Here's a championship belt."
Win against Nakamura, just give it. Nakamura will be like, "You got to go back to Japan, mate." Connor Reeves, he's the man. But no, I do get what you mean, and it is very frustrating because it's difficult when you're watching it to remember sometimes it's the third brand.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that is what it is, and it's always exciting when we get the takeovers. I mean, imagine how unexciting takeovers would be if it was Connor Reeves versus fucking anyone, fucking Alexander Wolf. You just be like, oh, all right, that's cool. But you want to see your main stars, and it makes sense. But from what I gathered, there's 2 touring NXT tours. There's the tour in Florida, which is for the guys like Connor Reeves, for guys like that, and then there's the mainstream tour and, you know, all around the world, which is the Nakamuras, the Samoa Joes. So I think they can work it to the point where they have an NXT brand and an NXT developmental program. I think that's what they should work on, and I think they should air those Florida house shows on the network. It doesn't have to be live, because I'm not an idiot. I know live TV is going to cost more. They could do them post-live and just air them on the network the next day. You know, say this is the future. You don't have to call it NXT. You could actually call it a complete different company. You could call it FCW and have a weekly FCW program in Florida live on the network for the developmental. Proper developmental.
I don't know if I would do it live. I would do it where I could edit stuff. I mean,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and plus, it's more content. I mean, that's what you're looking for. If you're the WWE Network, you're looking for more original content. I mean, this is one of those things. You're going out anyway. You're doing these shows anyway. Why not get you about 2-3 cameras? Do you a show? I mean, you don't have to do, and you can just air it. You can air them. You don't have to do like a full out blown, big show. You could just be like inside look, NXT, and here's this, here's a couple of guys that are up and comers. You may see them appear on NXT TV soon. Here's a match, or maybe they're not doing that intentionally. Maybe they're not, showing that stuff because we're not supposed to see it yet. It's like, okay, we're going to work out these guys need some work. We're going to put them in front of a live crowd, and we're going to take them back, and we'll go to the developmental center. We're going to work out the bugs. We'll bring them back out on the road again. We'll work on it some more, and then we'll put them on TV. Maybe that's what their mindset is. I'm not
probably is, but at the same time, what's the point of having a huge performance center if these guys don't get TV time?
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Like, how are these guys meant to analyze what they did? Like, maybe there's a hard camera already there, and there's like a built-in hard camera in the building that they record. How are these guys going to improve if they don't know what they did wrong? Obviously, there's going to be an agent or Matt Bloom there writing down what they did wrong. Mm. But you can watch yourself. They can watch themselves back on the network, and people can say, hey, look, I followed him from FCW to NXT, then to Raw. Guys, have your Eric Youngs, your Strongs, your Nakamura's, your Roodes debut on NXT. Go for it. But have FCW as your proper developmental program where nobody's start and make the way to the top. That's a proper rise, and that's a proper creation of a superstar. Imagine the excitement of the NXT debut of a guy you followed for a year in FCW. That'll mean more, and it'll make NXT look like a third brand, which is what Big H wants.
Who knows? It's a hell of an idea, but ultimately it's their decision to make. So NXT, if you're watching, yeah, we want to see some more of the other guys too. We want, because I actually get excited about that. I get excited about seeing I mean, wouldn't you like to say that I was the first guy who saw The Rock's first match ever, and then I watched his first match, then I watched him develop, and then he became like this megastar. Wouldn't you like to be the guy who said that? I mean, it's kind of like when you pull for whatever sports team, you see like a rookie, he's like, oh yeah, I remember his rookie year. And then when they're holding up the championship trophy, it's like, yeah, I was there from day one. I remember this guy from day one. I followed him with the journey. That's just one of those things. All
exactly,
right.
and NXT can be presented as the weekly indie show, indie-esque.
All right, next year we had a backstage segment with the Revival. Basically, they were asking for a triple threat match with DIY and the Authors of Pain in San Antonio, but TM61 walk up and said they were great because they earned it, not because they whined about it. And if they want another championship, you have to fight for it like everyone else. And basically, they just called the TM61 bottom feeders, and they got a challenge for a match. Then next, we had we go out to the ring. We had a match between Roderick Strong and Steve Cutler. Nothing too particularly special about the Strong Cutler match. Cutler, I see some potential in. He's got a good look. He needs to do more than just punches and kicks. I know that's kind of easy right now, and I think Roderick Strong's a great person for him to work with to develop a little bit more. We've seen him in the ring before, so props to WWE for putting somebody new on television. Let's build up a new star. I want to see a little bit more of what he can do. But Roderick Strong ultimately wins with a sick kick. Nothing much to it. So I guess on you, man. I mean, we said that we wanted to see some new people. We got Steve Cutler, and he's in there with a ring veteran like Roderick Strong. So, what do you think?
The thing is about this, this developmental brand, you can't just send them out and feed them to these indie guys. It's not going to work. How are they meant to get over when they're going out there and losing to these mainstream guys? It's making these guys look like developmental wrestlers.
What I think that is if they're going to have a match, they're going to put them in there with a veteran. They're going to put them in there with someone who, I mean, come on. Roderick Strong is a veteran. He's a great wrestler. What better way to learn? You go. I mean, that's like learning how to getting batting practice from Babe Ruth.
That's true. I understand that part.
And plus you have I guess you would be less likely for accidents to happen, because if you put basically two of the rookies in there with each other, I think your chances of somebody getting hurt or increase. And you want them to learn, so you need to have a teacher. Put them in there with somebody, and plus, they know that they're in good hands. They can relax, which is what you want. And there you go. I think that's why they do it. And then here's the thing: if he builds up, he's good enough. Yeah, then you can put him in there with somebody else and maybe get him a few wins.
How about this? So we'll talk about maybe having a whole program dedicated to these developmental guys. How about once a week on this NXT show, you have an NXT showcase match for the NXT Showcase Championship for these developmental guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like only purely for the developmental people. And they can word it by only people exclusively to the WWE Performance Center. That's how they can word it. Now, even though we know Strong, Eric Young's all the Performance Center, we can just pretend that they're not. You could have the NXT Showcase Championship defended once a week. That way they're getting TV time and they can get a chance to get over with the crowd, develop their characters on WWE Network television. I think that would be the way forward. The NXT Showcase match, allowing talents from the Performance Center to come up. So we could have got Steve Cutler versus Connor Reeves tonight on NXT. And then you can, what? If it sucks, it sucks. It doesn't matter because it's only the NXT Showcase match.
Yeah, it's a point, but I would rather them be in there with a veteran, somebody that can actually help them learn.
Yeah, but they can be in there as well.
I mean,
they can be.
Once they get to a certain point, yes, absolutely. Once they get to a certain point, but starting out, and we'll just and I think the trainers are making the right decision. they're making the right call. Let's let them do that. Let's let them do their job.
If we're watching an indie show, we're not watching. Fine. If I'll agree with that. If we agree this is not a developmental show. This is a weekly indie show. It's an indie fed. Because they're not developing anyone. Who are they developing? No one. Because they're already developed. It's not a developmental show anymore. It's a third brand, as Hate says every time for Rock On. There needs to be developmental wrestlers on the developmental show. But then with that being said, because it's not dubbed the developmental show anymore, I can't really complain. Because it's not the developmental show anymore. But that's what he wanted, and he makes touring money from it. So that's all about him. Let's get on to the next segment.
Next segment here, let's see. Ember Moon, she's been asked, about all the other women getting in the match scene. She's like, well, when everything's settled out, I'm going to try to get involved, try to get in there and claim, basically she's going to say that she's going to challenge the winner of this women's championship match after TakeOver. Liv Morgan interrupts her and says, hey, I've come a long way since I lost to Asuka in 86 seconds. And, I think me and you should, basically, I think what she was trying to say is, well, since, we don't have anything to do, we need to have a match so we're not forgotten about. And we need to prove who's going to be there's plenty of challengers no matter who the champion is. So they shook hands. So there you go. So, and it was announced a little bit later in the show, Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan, going to take place next week. Funeral services will follow immediately. There you go. No, I like that. I like that they're trying to develop. They're trying to get everything ready for the next cycle. You're getting a new challenger. They're proving that the women's championship means something. That these two girls have a chip on their shoulder. They're not sitting there waiting in line, waiting their turn. So I think this was a simple, but it was a very effective segment.
Yeah, I mean, it done its job. It hyped the match for next week. Its job, it was simple. The only job was to promote next week, hint at a heel turn from Roadman Liv Morgan, and Ember Moon got over, and she even pinpointed the fact that she will be challenging for the NXT Women's Championship. So now your perspective of her is of a challenger for the Women's Championship. So they did a good job, and Ember Moon's promos are good. Her wrestling is top notch. Mm-hmm. She will be a megastar in 2017 will be the breakout year of Ember Moon. And Booms, check your Facebook. I'll do the next segment. Booms, you check the Facebook, so I'll get to the next segment.
All right, I'll check.
So the next segment we had Tye Dillinger. He made his way to the ring. Tye Dillinger cuts a in-ring promo talking about what is next for Tye Dillinger. He says he doesn't know, and he's getting angry at the fact that he didn't become the number one contender for the NXT Championship because he feels he let everyone down. The group SAniTY, they interrupt him. Eric Young cuts a promo saying that Tye Dillinger could have everything he ever wanted if he just picked the right friends. Alexander Wolf then gives Tye a SAniTY jacket. Tye then throws that to the outside of the ring. Eric Young gets in the ring and tells Tye he could do it our way and they could let him have everything he ever wanted. He just has to make the perfect choice. Tye then takes the jacket and again drops it on the floor. Dillinger goes on to take out SAniTY until Big Damo comes out, spears and hits the Kenny Omega's one-winged angel on Tye Dillinger. Eric Young gives Big Damo the jacket. Big Damo puts it on his shoulders. So Big Damo is now a member of the SAniTY group. Now, I don't know what they're calling him. Because while I'm watching this show, I'm also doing the Kocosports.net live results. So I don't know. I'm not focusing on the commentary. I'm focused on what's going on because I'm typing at the same time.
But okay, where can they read those results?
You could read those results at Kocosports.net, the newly launched Kocosports.net, where it's your home for combat sports, boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling news covered, as well as the best podcast in the world today, right there at Kocosports.net. Go there. Thoughts on the in-ring promo by Tye Dillinger and the interaction with what went on?
Yeah, no, I like
Big Damo.
I really liked it. Tye Dillinger, I mean, he obviously has reason to be upset. I mean, this is a guy who, if you followed his journey, he was on like the WWE version of ECW under a different name. He lost his job. He got called back. He got signed a developmental deal. He was back with, I think he's been with them, even since, it was Florida Championship Wrestling. So it's been a while. but he's been down there and just nothing's worked until he hit the perfect 10 gimmick. Once he picked up the perfect 10 gimmick, it's like everything clicked. He's finally getting some motion here. The fans really took to him. So this is something that Tye Dillinger, for all practical purposes, should not be over. He just shouldn't. He should just be, jobber number 72 on NXT, but he's not. He worked his ass off. He found something that clicked, that connected with the fans. They tried to make him a bad guy. The fans love him too much, so they turned him face. He went in there and he's just tearing it up. I mean, he's making everything work for him. But here's the thing: he's 35. He's not getting any younger, and I think he realizes, it's like, do I even, it's kind of like, do I even belong here? I've been waiting for so long and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I keep getting passed up, and all these people keep passing me. And I love this story because you felt so bad for him. And then you have Eric Young come out there and says, come on, I've been there before. When you feel like you don't have it, and you keep thinking, there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, it didn't work out because, I tried doing it everybody else's way. I tried to make everybody happy. Now I'm just going to do it my way. And Eric Young, made a compelling argument. And finally, I think he kind of ruined it, because I think really what you could have done is, I'll give you a week to think about it. And then you could have built up some drama. Or maybe, it's like, well, then come out next week. Well, what do you think? It's like, I don't. It's like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the takeover. So what's Tye Dillinger's decision going to be? Watch TakeOver. I think that's an opportunity that they could have done. But but I'm not complaining. I did like what they did. Tye Dillinger had the vest. He dropped it, flashed up the perfect 10. It led to a fight. He hit Eric Young with the tiebreaker, was cleaning house, and then Big Damo came out of nowhere, speared him. Hit him with that his version of the one-winged angel, and then Eric Young offered Big Damo the jacket, and boom, so there you go. And by the way, I think we reported this last week, but I believe NXT from here on out he changed his name. It's going to be Killian Dane is going to be his new name moving forward. Hopefully they'll address that on TV in the coming weeks. But that's another thing I kind of hate about spoilers, and I kind of hate about NXT. They film all this stuff, and so all this stuff leaks out, and you're just like, okay, and it just kind of ruins things for you. But, it is what it is. Let me ask you this. Big Damo, Killian Dane, what do you want to call him? Do you think he's a good fit for SAniTY?
Yes. Okay. And I was listening to you. It's just I had to go on and block because these guys are being arseholes, and I had to do the blocking gimmick, so they're now blocked. That's fun. I do think he's a good fit. I do, because he can now develop a character. Because one of the things in ICW, anyway, that I thought was lacking was, he's this big guy, but he never really had a character. Now he can develop a damn character, and I'm just excited to see where it goes, and just wondering what's going on. Get the next segment.
Yep. Let's see, next segment here, we had TM61 taking on the Revival. This was a match here that I was like, okay, this has got some potential because TM61 desperately needs a win. They need to win a feud. They need to get some traction. And if it was up to me, I would go ahead and send the Revival up to the main roster. If it was up to me, that's where they would go. And I figured TM61 would be the team I would job them out to on the way out, because I really felt like TM61 just desperately needs a win. They just need something. That they have no traction. They're pretty much dead. They need to find out what's not working with TM61. I think it's just because they're so white bread, vanilla baby face. There's just no edge to them, and they need something. And I think a good win over the Revival could really push them over the edge. But and they did get a win. It was quick. It was a quick roll up, which I hate with it. I think it was not even a 10-minute match.
No, it was really quick.
Yeah, it was really quick. Which I think is kind of insulting considering all the amazing matches the Revival has put on, in 2016. Their feud with American Alpha, then their feud with DIY. Hell, even WWE named their match against DIY at the very last takeover as match of the year for WWE. I mean, they did it. WWE themselves named that, and to have TM61 just beat the Revival with a quick roll up, frankly, I find a little insulting. But no sense of crying over spilt milk. Immediately afterwards, they start attacking TM61. This was supposed to be the feud. They were supposed to have the Revival and TM61 start feuding in the early part of 2017. However, that's not going to happen. I don't know if you've heard or not, but this broke out on all over the interwebs. Shane Thorne suffered a knee injury, and apparently he underwent knee surgery. I believe it was like this past week. It was either this past week or the week before. Underwent surgery. So there's, I don't know what they're going to do with Revival now. I don't know what they're going to do with Nick Miller right now. He's all by his lonesome. So it just kind of derailed some plans. So I think if this was unintentional, I think it's a good way you could actually write off Shane Thorne, because remember, he took that shot to the knee at the very end. So you can say that was a knee injury, and they went in there and and took him out, and back to the drawing board.
Right. If at TakeOver they don't announce that Shane Thorne is injured to his left leg, they can announce it that he's injured to his left leg, but they don't announce on TV until TakeOver. And then when Nick Miller comes out, he says, look, Shane Miller, you took him out. He is ineligible to compete, but I do have a tag team partner. His tag team partner, none other than Mr. Kyle O'Reilly, who has been removed from Ring of Honor page. I don't know if he's going to NXT. I kind of hope he doesn't.
I think he's on the radar, but okay, here's what I've heard. I've heard he's on the radar. I don't know if Kyle O'Reilly and NXT have been in talks with each other. Maybe we'll find out come San Antonio. If we see him in the front row of the audience, then we know. But as far as Kyle O'Reilly goes now, he's no longer under contract to Ring of Honor. They weren't able to reach a deal. I mean, he can pretty much go anywhere and do anything he wants. If he shows up there may actually be a chance that Bobby Fish could come with him, because while Bobby Fish did sign a contract with Ring of Honor, it was for like a pay per appearance. Like it's on like a per appearance. So if things work out with O'Reilly, you may get Fish to come and you would get Red Dragon on WWE.
I don't know if I'd like that or not. I'd be very interested in a Kyle O'Reilly singles run. I would. But, enough of talking about fucking the silly Kyle O'Reilly going to NXT or Kenny Omega going to NXT. I like Kyle O'Reilly. I like Kenny Omega. So you know what I do? I watch him. No matter what color the ropes are, no matter what the logo is, whatever brand it is, support the wrestlers, not the promotion. Unless it's a promotion you dislike, then you're allowed to. Dude, it's insane. But I go to covering the main event, Boom Booms.
I don't know if it was I'm channeling my inner Dave Coco. It's like, is it time for the contract signing? Is it time for the contract signing? I've been waiting all day because, by God, I have to have a contract signing. I have to see this contract signing. But we had a contract signing between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. Believe it or not, I was actually entertained by it. Bobby Roode said, Mr. Regal, this is not going to be like other contract signings. Any other contract signings you've had in the past, there will be no fights, there will be no physicality, no brawling. This is the match of the year. This is money. I see dollar signs in your eye, and this is money. And basically, he doesn't want to ruin the money match. He doesn't want to give it away for free. But he takes the time to run Nakamura into the ground. His look, he runs the fans in the ground. It's great. Nakamura has a great rebuttal. Drives him crazy, even trying to use his catchphrase, glorious. They signed the contract. It was actually, believe it or not, surprisingly, it was entertaining. I would like to tell Raw and SmackDown, watch this segment, because this is how you do a contract signing. It's entertaining. Why? Because you think this thing is going to degrade down into like a fist fight like it does every other time, but when it doesn't, and then you have to rely on the interaction to get for the entertainment value. I think that's where it really pays off.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with people booms, and I enjoyed the contract signing, and it was. I've been trying. Booms, do you want to talk about this trolling we've got recently?
No, absolutely not.
No, you know what? Let's not take a break from it, because I just went on a blocking spree and I accidentally blocked someone by accident. I apologize. I unblocked you. How about that? I did really enjoy the contract signing. There was a lot I liked about it. I liked the fact that there wasn't, like you said, just brawl like your stereotypical WWE contract signing. It wasn't. And I loved the stare down at the end where they were getting right in each other's faces. And it was, the crowd helped a lot by being loud, which WWE, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live don't normally do. So I think that helped a lot. And I generally enjoyed this week's NXT. A strong tie from me. We're going to get to some live comments now, the actual real ones.
You know what? One thing I want to talk to you about here before we go to the comments. Dave Meltzer had reported that, with your performance center, because they're going to have some new people reporting in, so you mean you're going to have to send some people up. There's like a list of people that they want to call up, and I want to just read them out to you, and I want to get your reaction to them. Now, there's about 2 of them here that do not shock me. Actually, 3 that don't shock me in any shape, form, or fashion. First one is Shinsuke Nakamura. Does that shock you in any way? That they want to call Shinsuke Nakamura up in the roster. That doesn't shock you, right?
No, doesn't shock me at all.
All right. The next one would be Hideo Itami. Many shocks.
Yeah.
No surprises there. DIY, both Gargano and Ciampa. That's not a shocker, right?
No, not a shocker there.
Okay, now I'm going to get to the ones that I'm like, okay, I'm going to read them off to you. I want you to tell me if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, and I want you to tell me why. First one on the list, Andrade Cien Almas.
Well, moving up to the main roster now.
Yes, all these people, they're being close to, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. These are the people that are quote unquote closest to being called up to WWE's main roster.
Okay, and that is this man's thoughts. This is by no means fact. So everyone listening right now, this isn't a fact. This is us playing a little fun game. Okay, so this is not fact. Cien Almas, no, not yet. No.
I agree. I think he needs a little bit more time. I do like his when they turned him heel and they let him kind of do his version of Los Ingobernables. I like that. So I think they need to develop that just a little bit more, to be honest. Next is Alexander Wolf.
No way. He's just he should be in the NXT Showcase match, like I said.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with SAniTY right now, and I don't want to see him split that up.
Call up the whole of the SAniTY. They come with him.
Yeah, I just say wait till SAniTY's ready as a whole, and then bring SAniTY up as a whole. Basically, I would have them take over the spot from the Wyatt family. Is what I would do if it were up to me. Now,
I mean, because they don't really have that on Raw, do they? They don't really have a Wyatt family-esque group on Raw, so I think it could be good to have them on Raw.
Yeah, they could be a good heel faction on Raw. That might work. Next year, this might be a moot point right now because of the last news story I read, but TM61.
When was the last time they won on NXT? They get no crowd reaction. I love those guys. They are really talented guys. But
yeah, they did great work in Japan.
They did great work in Japan, and they did great work in NXT, but sadly they're not over, and they would flop like the Vaudevillains on the main roster. And sadly, when was the last time we saw Vaudevillains on the TV screen? Very sad, but it's true.
Well, it may be a moot point because, with Shane Thorne, being injured. All right, the next one here, Chris Hero. I mean, he's technically not even on NXT. I know he appears, but he's technically not even in NXT right now, and they're already talking about calling him up to the main roster. I only want to see him go if he teams up with Cesaro and they reform the Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah. Just imagine that. He shouldn't be in NXT. He shouldn't be in NXT. He's Chris fucking Hero. He's unbelievable. The guy had a great year last year, and I'm sad to see the guy leave the Indies because I've really loved watching him every month on Evolve, and I'll be watching his last 2 Evolve shows on the Friday and Saturday night next weekend. It's very sad to see him. He's facing Keith Lee on the Friday, and then on the Saturday he's facing Zack Sabre Jr. in his final Indies match, and I'm extremely excited for both.
Mm-hmm. All right, next, Tye Dillinger.
Yeah, he should come up. I agree. He is one of those who should come up right now.
I think if it's done right, I would put him on SmackDown because I think that's where he fit in the best. But if you do it right, I think he would work. Otherwise, it's going to turn into Apollo Crews. He's just going to be a guy that they go up, they push him for a couple of weeks, and then it's done. And then he just jobs. So they're going to have to be careful with this. But if they're going to be serious, if they're serious about Tye Dillinger, yes, bring him on, bring him up. I think he's earned it.
Have a plan. Have a plan for the guy.
Yeah, if they don't have a plan for him, I'd say leave him down in NXT because otherwise I'm going to be pissed because that's somebody who wants to be there, who's worked his ass off, and I think it's extremely disrespectful if you don't have a plan. You just basically job him out and only to fire him.
Yeah, it's not fair. Like Apollo Crews, he was way early.
Wait too.
Like what happened to Apollo Crews? Exactly, and this is what talk about current NXT guys. I think Andrade Elmas is what would happen if he got called up. The Apollo Crews treatment, sadly.
And then here's the last one here, and I'm going to put the camera on you because I actually want to see your face when I read this name. But this is the last one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to take any guesses?
What, the last one to be potentially called up?
Yes, the last.
Asuka.
No, not Asuka.
Dude, who haven't you said? Roderick Strong?
Nope, not Roderick Strong. I mean, they're good. You're good picks. This is good picks. Good picks. I mean, but basically, I'm building this up here. This is, this will pay off in just a little bit. And you've got good picks. So you've picked Asuka. You picked Roderick Strong, which are good picks. Which I agree, they deserve to be up there. Anybody else you would?
This will teach me for not reading the Observer. Oh damn! Fuck me. We talked about everyone.
Okay. Say NXT goes to you. Okay, they consult you. They say, okay, we've already given you this list of people, but who's not on this list? Who do you think should be called up right now? We're missing somebody. Who should it be? They're asking you.
Roadman Liv Morgan.
No.
Roadman Liv Morgan. Steve Cutler.
No, it's not Cutler.
I have no idea. Who is it? I'm quite excited for this now.
I'd like to note it's not the Revival. Why the fuck the Revival is going to get lifted in NXT right now when they're fucking hot right now? They need to be up there. They need to be up.
I thought you already said them. I thought they were just to give me.
No, I thought that too. I thought Revival was going to be a gimme. I thought, well, if they're bringing up DIY, they need to bring up the Revival. When you like to see that shit up on the main fucking roster. Nope, not. They're
was
not.
Was it DIY? These people.
It's DIY. DIY is on that list of potentials to go up. The Revival is not because fuck it. I have no idea because fuck Logic. That's why.
Maybe he accidentally typed it wrong. Maybe he meant to put the Revival in the DIY spot and the DIY in the Revival spot. Maybe it was just an accidental typo.
That possibility. And granted, this isn't gospel truth, but the last name here on this list, I shit you not. You're to think I'm making this up, but I'm not. I swear. I will swear right now on a whole stack of Bibles. I'm not making this up. The last name on that list is Elias Sampson.
Oh God! Over the Revival.
Over the Revival. Over Asuka. Over God, who else is over Bobby Roode? Over shit. Who else is on there? Authors of Pain.
Damn. They must. I wouldn't be shocked if we get fucking Bobby Roode versus Elias Sampson next. for the NXT title. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, Jesus wept. That's insane.
Oh, I know.
There was no way that might have been an accident. He must have. I mean, I can understand DIY and Revival, but Elias Sampson instead of the Revival in the top group, what are they doing? What are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? Absolutely insanity. Insanity. Anyway, Boom, do you want to get to some live comments? Because I've filtered them all for you, Boom. So you've only got the nice ones.
They're all
nice ones.
Okay, I'm going to start at the top and just work my way down. So I want to thank everybody for watching us live here. I'm not going to read the trolls comments just because I'm just not going to feed them. I'm not going to feed them. I'm not going to feed the trolls. Let's see. Kevin Eric Snell to quote Dave, is it time for the contract signing? Is it time for the contract signing? I can hear Dave Cook saying that. I love it. Andy Paps, he says contract signing equals loss. He's laughing about that, so it's a good funny. Let's see. Kevin Eric Snell says, making a Japanese guy say the word glorious. Is that the writers trolling Nakamura? No, actually, not Nakamura, man. His English is actually pretty good. He knows just enough to get his point across, and I think the less you say, the more effective it is, because if you need to be to the point, and if you can just get to your point, boom, there you go. Let's see. Oh, and this. Oh, by the way, this would not officially be a show without Chauncey Bullock saying, "Oh, brother, okay, I knew you would come. Oh, brother Booms, I knew you would come." It wouldn't be a show if he didn't have him doing that. So
it's like the new tradition, isn't it? The tradition is Andy Paps, baby, and I knew you'd come. See, that's what live comments is all about. We have our little community, and I would prefer it being a small community with you guys who, we love doing shows for you guys because you participate just as much as we do in the comments. So it's a bit sad people being silly with it, but that's life, innit? Don't feed the trollers, and we'll just delete them and block them, and off we go and leave them. Fucking imbeciles. How sad must your life be, though? How bad must your life be on a Wednesday night at 3:17 a.m. UK time? You're trolling an NXT review. Like, out of everything to troll, you troll an NXT review. Damn.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get to it. Rick 1982 says, "What's good, Booms and LK? Tonight's episode was a strong tie." I think that's about where everybody was at on this one. Either it was like a strong tie or a weak win. It was right around. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like great. So, no, I think that's where everybody was on that. Kevin Eric Snell, he actually has a good, a comment here. He says, "I don't get Tye Dillinger's popularity. He's been slaving away in OVW, the Indies, for years with no big reaction." Well, he finally got that reaction when he switched over to the Perfect 10 gimmick. He slowly but surely built a fan base and got it over. Even when he was supposed to be a heel, people just, I don't know, it just clicked. It just worked for him, and it's simple. I mean, just simple. The Perfect 10 holds up 10 fingers, holds up the 10 sign. I mean, that credit goes to him. I mean, this is something. Tye Dillinger should not be this over. He should not be this popular. The Perfect 10 should not be that big of a deal, but he made it a big deal. So I think that says a lot about him and his work ethic.
Yeah, like, he connects to the crowd really well, and I'd love to see him in the main roster. No, I pray that he doesn't get destroyed, demolished, or demotivated. But we'll just pray that he gets protected and booked properly. That's all we can do. We can pray.
Yeah, Bradley Cassidy says, "I like Damo in it, and I quite enjoyed the contract signing." I did too.
Yeah, well, one of the better contract signings. So they've been good at contract signings recently, haven't they? Because there's no physicality all the time. Sure. NXT and SmackDown Live have nailed down the contract signing.
Let's see. I'm going to keep going down here. A lot of vulgar language in here. I love it. Kevin Eric Snell, every time someone says Kyle O'Reilly, I hear it as Kyle O'Reilly. Alex Smith. Oh, the Sith Lord, like Kylo Ren. Yeah, from The Force Awakens. Let's see.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Franielli got sent the YouTube notification that we're live late. Damn you, YouTube. Damn you.
Yes, damn
You
you,
mean
all
bastards.
hell. I'll do this. Okay. Bradley Cassidy, he's jumping in here on this. Is Andrade Cien Almas? No. Alexander Wolf? No. SAniTY on the main roster. I agree. I think when SAniTY is ready as a whole, I would send them all up rather than just them one at a time. I do like that. TM61, no. Then Chauncey Bullet, hashtag beat up Dave Meltzer. I love that.
He gets a lot of stick, but I used to stick on the guy, but then I realized he's just doing his job. He could be an arsehole, and
yeah.
You go on. That's
Rick 1982 says, "What will happen to Sawyer Fulton once he comes back from injury? Do you ever see him returning to the SAniTY faction?" That could be one of two things. Either you could do one of two things. You could either have him jump back into SAniTY like nothing happened, he healed up, he's recovering from a shoulder injury, or that could be a storyline. It's like, I hurt myself, and when you said you were with me, you said that we were going to take it all, man. It was us versus the world. And when I needed you the most, you turned your backs on me, and then boom, there you go. There's your story. And I could see a big face turn for Sawyer Fulton.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see with that one. Could be good.
Somebody's asking, like, what does Cassius Ohno mean? I'm like, really the whole idea was to have somebody with the initials KO. I think that was the whole purpose of the Cassius Ohno name.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Cassius Ohno or Chris. I don't know what to call him because I hate the name Cassius Ohno. I fucking despise it. But I'm a bitter fucking imbecile. I'm happy he's going because now I can make lots of money. But he was in my match of the year for the Rev Pro match against Marty Scurll back in October. And I don't want to see him go because he has great matches. Like, if I'm having a crappy week, it's like, dude, no problem. This weekend I could watch a Chris Hero match. No, I can't. And that makes me sad. After watching him on NXT, where he's going to be toned down, and I'm just at TakeOver, he'll be cool. And I just don't see, I don't mean to be disrespectful here, but his body shape working in a WWE environment. Now, it's not a knock on the guy when he's as good as the ring as he has and as good on the promo as he has. It don't really matter, but it's Vince McMahon we're talking about here. But then again, Kevin Owens is the champion. Kevin Owens is the Universal Champion, but he hides it. I'm expecting Cassius Ohno to maybe wear a singlet. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah. I'm expecting him to wear a singlet.
Now, Chauncey Bullock, I think he's just joking here, goes, Aliyah wins the NXT Women's Championship. And it's funny, actually, and the reason I'm reading this because it's actually kind of funny because there's another story here, and this is courtesy of 411mania.com, that it looks like several NXT talents are going to be undergoing some gimmick changes or repackaging coming up soon. The names include Wesley Blake, Buddy Murphy, which I think is desperately needed, Steve Cutler, who we saw tonight, Aliyah, who I just mentioned, Riddick Moss, Tino Sabatelli.
Yep. No, he's got a good gimmick. He's got a good gimmick. I don't like that idea. I think I like his gimmick. I really do.
Yeah. Dan Matha. That's the guy who got, like, remember they did like this big package for him and it looked like he was debuting and Samoa Joe just went and choked him out. The guy had like
that's the
guy had that severe case of back knee.
Yeah, dude, there's no way that guy is more juiced up than Jinder Mahal. Juicy Jinder, yeah, this is unbelievable. Have you seen Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, that boy was on the fucking
dude, there
gas.
is no way that guy is. Those two, I reckon they could be a great tag team. The Juicy Duo, yeah, just come out like handing out steroid packs to everyone.
Oh, and actually,
how do they get away with that?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's just they don't have proper hygiene. I don't know, or have woolly skin. I don't know. I guess I spoke too soon. TM61 actually looking to get like a gimmick change or repackaging, which they desperately need.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that.
oh my God, King, it's the Drifters music. I like that.
Oh,
I'm
whereabouts?
I'm trying to get through. Yeah, I'm trying to get through here all the comments. Revival versus American Alpha. Yes, I would love to see that feud again. Ooh, I wouldn't mind seeing that on NXT over on SmackDown. As you can tell right now, I'm more of a fan of SmackDown than I am Raw because, well, I guess it's because I actually watch SmackDown. I have no desire to watch Raw.
Dude, you have a brain cell. You have a brain cell. That's why. No one enjoys
I mean,
Raw. The people who watch Raw are liars. Who enjoy Raw. That's not true, actually. People's brains are wired differently, so everyone has a different opinion. SmackDown is better than Raw. But if you enjoy Raw, each to your own. I don't. Not many people do, but WWE's polls suggest that lots of people. I need to start doing them polls. I love polls. I'm going to do them more on my Twitter machine. But with that being said, the WWE's polls after Raw usually implies that Raw, if we did a win-loss or tie, would always get a win/strong tie. Because they have, did you enjoy Monday Night Raw on their Twitter? Yes, no. Like 53% yes, 47% no. That's what it normally is. So some people out there must love Monday Night Raw and sit there with their fucking cup of tea, like rocking back and forth. Raw, Raw, Raw. Like, dude. I watch Raw because I have to. Not because I want to. That's my choice and lots of other people's choices, and that's what I have to do. Booms, keep going on those live comments.
Let's see, Aaron Moore, where is Dave Coco? Well, Aaron, actually, I'm kind of glad you asked because, see, right now, Dave Coco, he was on his private yacht out in the Pacific. He was out partying with, for at least a couple of weeks straight with chubby Asian strippers because that's his thing. That's what he does. So he was out on his private yacht out in the Pacific, having a good old time. I think they were island hopping, hitting up all the clubs. They were having a good time. Well, he got done with that. He docked his private yacht. He is back in Tokyo now, and he's working on his next novel. So that means he's at a Starbucks right now with a grande latte, and he's got his laptop up, and he's clicking and clacking around on the keyboards because the important thing is when you write a novel, it's not the fact that you're writing a novel, it's that everybody else knows that you're writing a novel. That's what's important.
On a serious note, he'll be back late January to February once he's got his internet, etc., sorted in his place. So yeah, he will be back in time for Mania season kicking in properly, which is a huge boost to our team. And generally, Kocosports actually doing really well recently. Jerry, who's the actual runner and sports full time, he's pulled his finger out and he's really started knuckle down on the Kocosports, the marketing department. I'm gonna be joining the marketing department shortly, which makes me excited, and I'm also on the writing staff of the Kocosports doing the news. So if you're ever just bored at home, just go on kocosports.net. There'll be loads of news articles that you can comment on. Just leave comments like you do right here on the YouTube channels, and there'll always be the consistent YouTube live show. So kocosports.net is the place to be, and thank you for being here.
Okay, I hope I didn't offend anybody here, but Jake B said, Aliyah is legit. What were your thoughts of her main roster debut? I was real surprised. Now, she hasn't debuted on the main roster. Didn't she job?
Yeah, she jobbed to someone. I think it was Carmella. Can't really remember, but she impressed me more than Carmella.
Yeah, it was, you shouldn't look into that too much because remember, Billie Kay did the same thing about 2-3 months ago. They just brought her up there because they just needed somebody to put in the ring and job. So I wouldn't look too much into it, but good for her. Any kind of exposure is good. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Take two. There's no such thing as bad publicity as long as they spell your name right.
Exactly. But I like Aliyah. I do see potential. She's got that look of a star. Like her ring work's questionable, but she's still new, so I'll give her a chance. But yeah, she's got a great look.
Yeah, a lot of people talking Kurt Angle should manage American Alpha. I like it. Let's get on that.
Dude, that's simple, isn't it? That's brilliant. I talked about on the Raw show I did on Monday about Kurt Angle, and because they're gonna have Shelton Benjamin back, bring back Charlie Haas and do World's Greatest Tag Team versus somebody. Do World's Greatest Tag Team with Kurt Angle versus American Alpha, Magical. Or you do Kurt Angle in a one-on-one match, which I do not know is for certain. I know when I did my article on Kocosports.net, I know that it wasn't official, and from what I can tell is his contract is, from what I could read anyway, from all the big ones, that His contract is only for the Hall of Fame exclusively right now. And
Yeah,
I would
well, from what I've read, there are plans for him to do some on-air stuff and actually get involved in the show. So I don't know. But I don't know about him actually being like a competitor in the ring. That I don't know. I think that would have to hinge on if he could pass the WWE physical, which I don't know if it's going to happen. Because remember, Hulk Hogan couldn't pass the physical. Ric Flair, I don't think Ric Flair could pass the physical.
No. But it's Kurt Angle, you know. They should just let Kurt Angle have one last match home and then ride off into the sunset. You know, that's a big money match, Kurt Angle retirement match. I can't believe they wouldn't let that go. But again, safety comes first, I guess. And if he's not safe, I won't risk his life. But we don't know. We only Kurt Angle, and do we know his wellness? And I'll just be excited if he has a match. And even if he doesn't, I'll still be excited because Kurt fucking Angle will be going into the Hall of Fame. And I'm looking. Apparently, he wants Steve Austin to induct him. Steve Austin, Kurt Angle on my TV screen.
I kind of wish it's a good idea, and I like it. I support it. Part of me was kind of hoping it was Brock Lesnar because him and Lesnar had a great feud, but I'm not disappointed by Steve Austin.
No, it was quite difficult. I was thinking who could induct him on one of the shows. I was thinking who the fuck could induct him, but Steve Austin's a good pick. Any excuse to get Steve Austin on the TV screen is like I watched the Broken Skull Ranch that's now on the UK TV, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a really good weekly episodic program. I recommend people to watch it. The Broken Skull Ranch by Steve Austin. Austin's in great, dude. If I look like Steve Austin when I'm that age, I've done something right in my life, dude. That guy is ripped as shit.
You never stop working out, I guess.
Dude, there's working out and then there's fucking that. Guy's a monster.
Yeah. Well, that, and all he has to do is work out. He doesn't have to go tear his body up. He just works out and he's done.
Yeah, because he doesn't do anything. He's the host of the show, the Broken Skull Ranch. So that's good for him.
Yeah. Andy Paps, Bebe, says, "Did you guys hear about New Japan's plan to start a U.S.-based promotion?" I don't think that's completely accurate. Actually, what you'll do, if you'll go to New Japan World, it's on their website, but it's one of the free videos you can watch under English commentary. Right after Wrestle Kingdom 11, the owner of New Japan sat down with Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino, and they're making an attempt to kind of come to the United States, kind of get involved, kind of plant their, kind of expand out. So they're going to do a show in they're actually doing 2 shows in Los Angeles, and that's going to be July 1st and 2nd, if I remember correctly. And that's going to be I believe it's just going to be qualifiers for the G1 Climax tournament. So they'll have a purpose. It'll mean something. There'll be some consequences for it. So there's reason to go. And now one of the questions they asked was, there's a big Asian American community in Los Angeles, but there's also like a large Asian American communities in San Francisco, Chicago, New York. Are you going to go places like that? Do you have a plan? And the owner just said, "Oh, we've got a plan. It's just a company secret." So
that doesn't mean new promotion. That just means they're going to tour over there a lot more.
Yeah, it just means they're going to tour. I wouldn't say it's going to be like an American. They're going to start touring America.
Dude, you don't need to. You're New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's a brand. That's a big global fucking brand. You can market with that.
And plus, they had on the day of Wrestle Kingdom 11. Just foreign subscriptions to New Japan World. They had 10,000 subscriptions on one day. On the day of Wrestle Kingdom 11, they had 10,000 new subscriptions outside of Japan. That's pretty good.
You and Sammy did it. And I know you and Sammy did it before Wrestle Kingdom 11. So imagine how many people did it before Wrestle Kingdom 11.
I think I did. I got my subscription on the 3rd.
Yeah, so that's just brilliant. And I love seeing good wrestling companies make good money. Because then that's encouraging them to come over there. And I want them to come over to UK as well.
Yeah, and plus, I sent you the link. I don't know if you put it up on Kocosports.net yet, but they are going to have 14 English language or English commentary events in New Japan this year. That's also including the Los Angeles show. But they're going to do 14, and it's going to be Don Callis. He's taking over for Steve Corino alongside Kevin Kelly. Now, if you don't know who Don Callis is, you may remember him
Go to Kocosports.net. Go to Kocosports.net and click on the link. That's who Don Callis is. How about that? That's how you find out. So go to Kocosports.net and you'll find out all about Don Callis, about what he did in the Attitude Era, what he did in ECW. You'll be able to find out all about it over at Kocosports.net. I did the article. Read it, share it, comment, love it. What else we got in live comments?
I'm going
Dude,
down. I think we got through them all. I think it's just a lot of comments here. And a lot of people, excited about Kurt Angle coming back. Well, just as I said that, Rick 1982 said, "Did you hear about Japanese wrestling company DDT having their own demand site called DDT Universe?" That is
I
news.
saw that.
That's
I saw that. They got a good marketing team on Twitter, because I saw it on my Twitter machine. And I read it and I was like, that's cool, because there's lots of different promotions under DDT. And it's really cool. Now, I'm glad the Japanese scene, they got Stardom have their own now streaming service. DDT do. New Japan obviously do. And I'm checking out some Wrestling Network stuff. I'm really getting into my Japanese wrestling. It's becoming, I was really getting into Lucha Libre. But now this strong style of, Japanese Puro is I'm loving it. I'm really loving my Japanese wrestling at the minute. And if any of you want links to these Noahs and shows, etc., hit me up on Twitter at LK_Kocosports. I will hit you up with the links.
Can we put those on the site, or will we get taken down for that?
No, because I want to keep it a secret. Like I've sent it to Rick 1892. I've sent it to SOS Wrestle Talk. Sent it to you too, I think, in one of the chats.
Yeah.
And I don't want it taken down because I use it a lot. So I only use it for companies I can't purchase. For instance, I can't buy Pro Wrestling Noah, where I'm meant to buy it from. So I pay my New Japan, I'll pay my WWE Network, I'll pay my Flave Slam, I'll pay everything. I'm entitled to a little bit of dodgy shit because I can be a pirate sometimes. Quite fun.
All right, I think that's it. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Let's see. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We got shows coming out all the time. Raw review in the can. SmackDown review in the can. NXT, you're just now watching. Lucha Underground on hiatus. We're hopefully going to have a review of the UK tournament. TNA Impact coming up. We'll start all over.
Are you watching that, Booms? Are you watching Impact tomorrow, Boom Booms?
I may do it just for one, just to shut you up. But I may check it out to see where it goes. Well, but mostly the first one. But just to see where just to see where it goes, and also.
When do you want to do that UK show? When do you want to do that? Should we do that?
Let me talk off air. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go check my schedule here.
Cool, no problem. If you're not available now, after this, I'm gonna do a UFC Fight Night 103 recap / results show because I'm really getting into MMA and boxing due to working for Kocosports.net. I need to learn my mixed martial arts and boxing, so. Kocosports, the home for combat sports, will actually feature combat sports on the channel. Isn't that ironic? I know, and you can find out all about it. We got all the latest news and gossip over at Kocosports.com. Kocosports.net takes you to the same place. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. It's been redone, revamped, refreshed, and it's right for the picking. So be sure to go over there. And while you're there, be sure to drop us a few comments on stories that you're reading. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what we could be doing better. Just let us know. And also, just a thank you to Internet Infantry members for being civil, good human beings. Thank you for watching us all the time. Thank you. We do appreciate it. There you go, Booms. There you go.
So thank you guys. So this is Boom Boom for the rest of the Internet Infantry and for Kocosports.com saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.